Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up.
Hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Saturday to you. Or happy Sunday. Sorry. Wrong day. Sorry. Wrong day. Don't want to get you guys all excited. Like, oh my gosh, it's Saturday. Sorry. It's Sunday. Sorry to ruin it for you. But yep. Let me check my watch. It certainly is. It is the 28th of September. We are getting through this month very quickly. I feel like September flew by. And if I look like I'm crying, it's because I just put some eye drops in. I'm trying to this one wants to tear up on my eyelash there. So I'm not crying or anything, so don't worry. But welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for joining me for another live if you're not new to the channel. But if you are new, my name is Tanya or Titanium Built. You can call me either or. And we'll go ahead and we'll get started with tonight's live. So hopefully everybody's having a great day. I need to really lighten up that back corner. I keep thinking about that. Every time, I don't think about it until I come live and I see it in the camera. Because there is the cutest of trees back there, but you can't even see it. But if I do look, you can see my pumpkin. If I go over that way a little bit, and I'm dog free as of right now, so they'll be coming. Just to warn everybody, they'll be here. They'll be here. But yes, thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure that you're on all chat. That way you don't miss any, of the chat, because if you're on top chat, it only gives you certain messages. I don't know why YouTube does that, but I've been trying to tell you guys in the beginning of the lives. That way I remember myself. So we're going to talk about the 3 Kansas Chiefs fans that, died in their friend's backyard. We went over this case since the beginning of it. So we're going to keep on keeping on. We've got some stuff to go over. So if you guys are not familiar, you're not sure if you remember, I have some pictures. I have the thumbnail here. So I'm just going to put the pictures up and I'm going to tell you all about the case. Basically 3 Kansas City Chief fans died. Like I said, their names were Clayton McGinney, David Harrington, and Ricky Johnson. David Harrington was 37, Clayton was 36, and Ricky was 38. They died on January 7th, 2024, after attending a watch party at the home of their friend, Jordan Willis, in a Kansas City northern neighborhood. And you'll see there the house behind them. That's where they were. So the men gathered, basically, they gathered there to watch the Chiefs AFC wildcard playoff game against the Los Angeles Chargers. They were supposed to be there just for January 7th to watch the game, and then they were supposed to go home. Their bodies were discovered frozen in the snow in Willis's backyard on January 9th, 2024, after Harrington's fiance went to the house, or I think it was actually McGinney, I'm sorry. Fiance went to the home looking for him. So Willis initially told police he had gone to bed around 4 a.m. on January 8th, assuming the others had left, and was unaware they remained outside in sub-freezing temperatures, and they were around 20 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 7 degrees Celsius. So for the, other people out there. A fourth friend who had been there at the gathering left early, and he survived. Jordan didn't tell officers that he had supplied the men with cocaine and fentanyl that night. Failed to tell us that. Failed to tell anybody that. An investigation spanning over a year led to charges on March 5th, 2025 against Willis, 39, and another man, Ivory J. Carson, 42, which we kind of had heard about Ivory Carson. They were charged with 3 counts, each of delivery of a controlled substance and involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors later upgraded the charges in June 2025. I think that's the last time we went over this case, to include second-degree felony murder, alleging the defendant supplied the lethal drugs, supported the DNA evidence linking Willis to a bag of cocaine and Carson to a bag of fentanyl found at the scene. So basically, Willis's DNA was all over the bag of cocaine and Carson's was all over the bag of fentanyl. So on June 24th, a Platte County judge ruled that there was probable cause to bind the case over for trial following a preliminary hearing. And then on August 6, 2025, that's like the last thing that we kind of know, the defendants were scheduled to return for a formal arraignment and Carson's bond review hearing at 1 p.m. But no public records or outcomes have, changed the bond status. I haven't seen that. But I will be calling this week because I heard that they have a hearing tomorrow. So I got on their website and I'll show you guys. It doesn't show any of the scheduled hearings or trials. What? So like I was saying, if you guys don't know this case, basically these, there was like 5 of them, 4 or 5 of them over there all together throughout the night. They started over at one of the guys' house that was ended up being dead. I think it was David Harrington's maybe, or Ricky Johnson. It was one of them too. But they started at their house and then they ended up going over to Jordan Willis's house. Jordan Willis was in like a funk for 2 days or something. I don't know. He didn't answer his door when people would come there knocking on the door, trying to figure out where these guys were. They could see their cars were there, but they couldn't get Jordan to answer the door. He said he had on, he lives in a neighborhood, right? And he said he had on noise canceling headphones, but he said he was using those while he was working. But then he said he was sleeping, and his lawyer is, I'm sorry, but he's like backwards, I feel like. Perserno, I think that's his name. So yeah, he's something else. He came out and said one story on Banfield, and then the next night went on Banfield and told a whole totally different story. I was like, what is this guy in real life? I mean, this case is at God's, it has its twists and turns to it. But basically they were found because one of the girls, the fiance to one of the guys, was like, I'm breaking in the house. Like, I'm going to break in because she can see that her fiance's, their cars are there, right? Like her fiance and his friend's cars there. Like, why isn't Jordan answering? I'm going to break in. I would have probably done the same. I would have done the same. I would have 100%. If Vincent was in that house, I would have gotten in there because I'd been like, there's something wrong. There's something totally wrong. I would have thought, like, was it carbon monoxide poisoning or something? That's what I would have thought. Like, I don't know. I would have thought something like that, but I would have been breaking in there for sure. And the judge, seen that way too. And we'll read the updated arrest warrant tonight. It's actually shorter than the original. So we'll play this short video. This is Ivory Carson here. Jordan Willis looks a little different without his dogs, So basically this guy slept through everything. And he said that his dogs, because he has 2 dogs, right? That his dogs were at his dad's house or his parents' house. And that just makes no sense to me. Why would your dogs be there? Like, of all weekends, right? Like, the weekend you don't need to take them out back because there's 3 dead bodies in the backyard. And they were in different spots. I mean, nobody knew at first what happened to these guys. We just started this, covering this case, and all of a sudden it was like they found them in the backyard and they were all dead. It was like, what? And so what happens is she ends up crawling through the window and she sees one of them sitting in a chair in the backyard. He literally died in the chair. I have never done that kind of stuff before, so like I wouldn't know what it could do to you, but apparently it could kill you right on the freaking spot. Or, very quickly, because these men weren't even able to get back indoors, or they, they weren't able to get anywhere. So it's crazy to me. And welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see you, Ladybug. Stinky Feet Savages and Soul Scorching Aries. Oh my gosh. You're leading the charge.
This out of Platte County, Missouri. Prosecutors hope to upgrade charges against 2 men accused in the deaths of 3 Chiefs fans. Court documents show Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson could now face a second-degree murder. Both also face 4 civil lawsuits by family members of the 3 men who died.
And we have an update to the death.
I'm about to tell you guys that too. Yeah. I was looking through the paperwork, and they do have 3 of the parents. They put civil, they have civil cases on these 2 guys. Now, I don't know if that's going to do much or not. I mean, I don't know if they're worth anything, but he was a scientist. Like Jordan Willis was like, what did he work for? No, I can't remember. He worked for a really good company. I bet you someone in the chat might remember. But he was a scientist pretty much there. I could look it up if not. I don't think it says it here. No, it doesn't. This is just a video I was going to show you guys. Might be like the same thing though.
You said that you were.
Oh, no, this is the one with. Okay, so this is the one with Jordan Willis. So this is the one after their last court hearing. I think we played this last time we had our last live, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's. They like get, Jordan Willis, and they're trying to ask him questions, and he's like saying he's confident about his case. I hope he's not really going to, I mean, he's sticking with Joe Paserno. I mean, where did he find him? I mean, I'm going to show you a video of Joe Paserno. We should find those 2 videos of where he lied and his 2 different stories. Also, congratulations, Benny and Selena Gomez. They got married.
Are confident in your case, so you do have a comment. What more can you tell us about why you're confident?
No comment.
Okay.
Sorry.
How did you know? How did you not know your friends were in the backyard of your home?
No comment.
Jordan Willis is not commenting on how he could have been unaware that his friends Ricky Johnson, Clayton McGinney, and David Harrington were dead in his own backyard. But we're now getting a.
I mean, it's hard to believe, right? I mean, I guess he was just partying hard. When he opened the door for the cops, because he finally opened the door for police, he was wearing his boxers and holding a wine glass in his hand. Why? If you're not drinking wine, why would you be holding a wine glass, an empty wine glass? I'm just saying.
Clearer picture of what happened and what was going through his mind.
There's 3 that's
Why did they go out there? It just doesn't make any sense.
This is the interview Willis gave to police while they were still searching his home and removing the bodies. At first, he claimed he had no idea who was in his backyard, saying he thought his friends had left. Then he realized it was in fact his friends who were dead. Unprompted, Willis brought up the possibility that the men had gotten into fentanyl. The medical examiner has determined the men died of the combination of fentanyl and cocaine.
They may have gotten something. They may have gotten fentanyl or something.
And as compelling as that recorded interview may be, it's the gaps in the prosecution's case that stand out the most.
If you're going to have friends doing that, right? Let's just say that, they did. They went and they got the fentanyl. You should be a better friend. I'm just saying, like, the bigger friend, the better friend, and have Narcan on hand. Always. Always. If I had a friend that was like known to do fentanyl and they were coming to my house and there was nothing I could do to, tell them to not do it, I would just be safe, better safe than sorry. Cause sometimes they're not going to listen to you. If you say, hey, get off the drugs, they're just not. But it's just easier to have that,
I was expecting
Save a
to hear
life.
some hard evidence.
There
of
he
direct
is. There's Joe Paserno.
Evidence of either of these guys either distributing drugs or handing in drugs to the three deceased people.
Yes, there is
There's no proof. Their DNA is on the bags. Paserno.
DNA evidence on the bags from Willis and Carson,
Oh.
but text messages between the men about buying cocaine from Carson date back more than a month before the three victims died. The state's evidence shows that Willis had bought drugs for the men in the past, but there was no direct evidence presented that the drugs they did that night were provided by Carson or bought by Willis, and the DNA on the bags was not contained to just Willis and Carson. Those bags also had DNA from multiple other people. It's clear all three parties are digging in. The state, after upping the charges to include 3 counts of murder, and both defendants who remain confident in their chances of beating these charges.
I don't think they're going to beat the charges. I don't see that happening. I mean, the cops are not, these cops are not going to charge these guys just for the fun of it, right? I mean, they're like going hardcore. Like they're getting their evidence, they're testing the bags, they're doing all the things. And I mean, it's got to start somewhere, right? Where people are held accountable. At least, I mean, you got to be held a little accountable, right? I mean, this is craziness. This is just insanity. Sorry, I thought I was on the chat and I wasn't. I was looking at this. I'm like, why am I not on this chat? And welcome everybody. Welcome in everyone in the chat. If you guys don't mind, will you hit the like button for me? I appreciate that. If you like the content, if you appreciate the content, if you hate the content, don't hit anything yet. Just give it time. I usually takes me a little bit sometimes with some people. So, so this was the probable cause or statement that we read the first time. Actually, this is shorter than the one we have now, but it's different. I don't know. The writing's different. This one was filed in March of 2025, and then they have an amended one now, which is this one here, and this one was filed in Platte County, June 26, 2025 at 3:49 p.m. So they are merging the two cases together. They're going to be going to trial together, as far as I know. And they haven't just said anything about that. I think they actually put in the briefs. I was looking at some of the documents that they wanted it that way. Okay. So I thought we would read through this and then we'll watch the that new documentary that just came out. It looks so good. I watched I don't know, maybe 5 minutes of it. And I was like, oh no, wait. So I can commentate. Okay. So state of Missouri versus Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson, aka Blade. Didn't know that was his nickname, but that's what I'm gonna start calling him from now on. Blade. Where'd you find that nickname? That nickname is that's so corny and cheesy. That's not even a good one. Like Titanium Built's pretty good. That's pretty clever. I mean, Okay. So, I don't know how to say his name, so let me see if I can get it to pronounce it for me. Zand. Okay. Eric G. Zand. So first amended felony complaint. Eric G. Zand, Platte County prosecuting attorney, state of Missouri. And Colin S. Van Ostren, assistant prosecuting attorney. These are dirty. It's fine. Upon information and belief, charge that the defendant Jordan R. Willis, and it says count 1, and then it gives the section, and it says committed the Class C felony of delivery. I don't know how these get dirty all the time. Delivery of a controlled substance punishable upon conviction under sections 558.002 and 5.8.001, and that on or about January 7th, 2024, in the county of Platte, state of Missouri, the defendant knowingly distributed cocaine and a controlled substance to Clayton McGinney, David Harrington, and Ricky Johnson, knowing that it was a controlled substance. The range punishment for a Class C felony is imprisonment in the custody of the Missouri Department of Corrections for a term of years not less than 3 years and not to exceed 10 years, or by a fine not to exceed $10,000, or by both imprisonment and a fine. If money or property has been gained through the commission of the crime, any fine imposed may be not more than double the amount of the offender's gained from the commission of the crime. And then it says, I don't know if these are, I don't think these are the same. They're a little different, but then it's for defendant Ivory Carson, same prosecuting attorney. And then it says committed the Class C felony of delivery of a controlled substance punishable upon conviction under sections, and it gives the section numbers, and that on or between December 2nd, 2023 or to January 7th, 2024, in the county of Platte, city or state of Missouri, the defendant knowingly distributed a controlled substance to Jordan Willis, Clayton McGinney, David Harrington, or Ricky Johnson, knowing that it was a controlled substance. They're even getting them for Jordan. So, wow, that's, I mean, because the state can pick up charges even if you don't want them to, right? And that's what happened there. I mean, even if he said, no, I don't want to press anything, no charge, they were like, nope, sorry. So the range punishment for a Class C felony is imprisonment in the custody of the Missouri Department of Corrections for a term of years not less than 3 and not to exceed 10, or by a fine not to exceed $10,000, or by both imprisonment and a fine. Okay. Same thing it was saying up there. If money is gained, through the commission of the crime, you have to give that back. And then it says count 2, and it has both of their names for Jordan R. Willis and Ivory J. Carson Blade. Count 2, in violation of section 565.021, committed the Class A felony of murder in the second degree, punishable upon conviction under sections 558.011, and that on or about January 7th, 2024, in the county of Platte, state of Missouri, Clayton P. McGinney was killed by an overdose, combined fentanyl and cocaine toxicity as a result of the perpetration of the Class C felonies of distribution of a controlled substance committed by the defendants on or between December 2nd, 2023 to January 7th, 2024, in the county of Platte, state of Missouri. An individual convicted and sentenced for this offense shall not be eligible for parole until 85% of the sentence is served. The range of punishment for a Class A felony is imprisonment in the custody of the Missouri Department of Corrections for a term of years not less than 10 years and not to exceed 30 years, or life imprisonment. Well, you can't really exceed life imprisonment, can you? Let's see if I think this is the same, because it has both their names. On or about January 7th, David Harrington was killed by overdose as a result. Yep. So that's another 10 years. Wow. Count 4, Ricky Johnson, overdose. Same. Wow, that's a lot. And that's the end of it. So 3 counts of second-degree murder. And then they were already charged with something else too. Maybe this is up here. The delivery of us, the delivery, and then he wait, so the delivery was here. And then there was another one, wasn't there? No, they were both delivery. Now, did this have his name? No. So that's weird. I mean, they didn't like they put like his violation was a delivery, right, of a controlled substance, but they didn't put like Blade's name in here. But when you get down to Blade's, they put Jordan Willis in there. So I don't know. That's just, you think that, I mean, if they're both guilty, they're both guilty. They both had their hands on, on the bags. Like, I mean, for real. So I'll show you here where I was at the Missouri courts. It doesn't have any like scheduled hearings, and trial information is not available. So I'm like, oh, whatever. But oh wait, I was wanting to go to docket entries, but we can go through some of these on another live too. They do have some stuff here. It looks like the family did, like I said, filed some civil suits. So it's going to be something else. See, now it says here, just goes to 624. So I don't know what's going on, like why we're not showing them all. I'll have to figure that out. Okay. Oops, I didn't mean to play that again. I meant to like click over there. Okay. So basically this is, it's called Frozen Kingdom, Kansas City Mystery Deaths. And it's on Fox Nation, and it's talks about just everything that's going on in the case, everything that's happened, everything that's going on. It's like a little documentary. It looked really good. I think you guys will enjoy it. If you don't mind, before I play it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, do all the things we ask you to do. If you don't mind. Also, if you would like to become a member of our channel, we would love that, and I would love that. And I did link the channel membership at the top. So, all right, let's go ahead and play this. And I'll turn it up so it doesn't like bust out your eardrums. There you go. Oh, I just paused it.
The heartbreaking and baffling story out of Kansas City, where 3 Chiefs fans froze to death in a friend's backyard.
There's 3. Why did they go out there? It's just doesn't make any sense.
3 people just don't fall dead.
Is it a murder or just a mystery?
Who, if anybody, will be held responsible for the deaths of Clayton McGinney, Ricky Johnson, and David Harrington?
You've been up, you've gone to the restroom, you've done this, you've done that. So I just don't believe that it's as innocent as it sounds.
They're not telling us anything, but they want us to think no foul play. No.
There was so much speculation about what did they die from. Did he lock them out of the house? Did they freeze to death? Literally.
That's Joe Paserno.
What is going on right now?
If they get the consequences, maybe it will show people enough's enough.
I don't think people could believe what they were hearing. It was shocking.
There was something wrong with the picture the whole time.
Why are 3 people dead and 1 person's alive?
They didn't deserve this.
Kansas City, straddling the Missouri-Kansas state line, it is a haven for lovers of barbecue, jazz music, and all-American sports in the heart of the Midwest.
Truly Midwesterners, there's nothing better. They're so kind, so nice, so willing to help.
And they love their football.
When the Chiefs play, everybody's watching. This town shuts down figuratively because all the bars are open still.
On the first Sunday of 2024, the Chiefs game became the setting for a mystery that would gain national attention. While the players prepared to face off in sunny Los Angeles, California, fans back in Chiefs Kingdom were hunkering down as a winter storm was approaching. It was the perfect time to stay indoors in front of the TV to watch the game, which is just what a group of good friends decided to do. Then 36-year-old Clayton McGeeney, 37-year-old David Harrington, 38-year-old Ricky Johnson, and 38-year-old Jordan Willis. They had known each other since high school.
It was David Harrington's home that they were watching the game at. And they were there, you know, having a great time, doing what we do here in Chiefs Kingdom. Drinking, we drink a lot here. But drinking and watching the Chiefs and having a great time.
A very close game, and the friends decided to keep that great time going. So they headed over to Jordan Willis's house, where they partied late into the night.
We're just asking everybody to stay home and be safe. Let our snow crews do their work and clear the roads. And if you can, wait for that errand or that trip out.
Come Monday morning, as blizzard-like conditions made their way into the area, no one outside of the house had seen or heard from any of the men.
People are texting, people are calling, people are messaging on Facebook, trying to get a hold of all these men, but particularly Jordan Willis, who lives at the home, and no one can make contact.
Many parts of this region are expecting up to a foot of snow before this system
that.
decides to make its way east.
Look at that. And your loved ones out there, right? And you're probably as the fiance, you're probably getting a little upset, right? He's not answering. Like, that would be me. I'd be like, what is going on? Why is he not answering? I would start to get worried immediately. Like, so she goes over there and she sees that their cars are parked there. So she knocks on the door. No one answers. So she leaves, but then she goes back because she's like, wait a minute. There's cars here. I mean, if it wasn't for her, who knows how long they'd been out there. And the thing to me is he didn't look out his back door, none of his back windows and none of his front windows for 2 days because their cars were out front and their bodies were out back. So he didn't look out any windows. That to me just is weird.
By Tuesday, the city was blanketed in snow. The temperature dropped well below freezing, and there was still no sign of Clayton, David, Ricky, or Jordan. Clayton McGeeney's distressed fiancée braved the winter weather to search for him. She pounded on Willis's front door, but no one answered.
She breaks into the home, and that's when she discovers this body laying on the back patio. She calls 911.
Bro, what is going on right now? What is going on right now?
Detectives went to the backyard and made a shocking discovery. There wasn't just one person lying there, but three. Two on the ground and one seated in a chair, and they were all deceased. They appeared to be frozen, with snow and ice coating their faces.
We were in our morning editorial meeting and we're like, this is kind of a big deal. 3 bodies, but the police aren't calling it a homicide. And you know, things happen, right? Things happen every day. People die every day, and it's not necessarily making the news. But 3 people dying in the backyard
at the same time.
That's a story.
So Malik started to investigate. After learning that Jordan Willis had been renting the suburban home, he tried calling him, to no avail.
Then I called his sister, right? I'm explaining to her that 3 people are dead in the backyard of her brother's home, and I'm trying not to freak her out because we, at this point, don't know if Jordan is one of the 3 people that has passed away. I had the chills telling her this, and so I'm like, okay, we'll just figure out what happened and call us back. Later, I call her husband, and he goes, yeah, me and my wife just talked to Jordan on the phone, and he says that his 3 friends froze to death. And immediately, Our antennas go up.
Look at this backyard.
Perhaps even stranger, Willis told police he had no idea his friends were still at his house days later.
Okay, just real quick. Look at all these windows. They're huge. He was sitting in one of these chairs. These weren't small guys. Well, Clayton, he was small, kind of, but I don't know who was sitting in the chair and who was in the grass, but I mean, I just don't get it.
Much less dead in his backyard.
Police say there were no signs of foul play.
Yeah, tonight there are many questions, but not a lot of answers.
By all accounts, this is a quiet neighborhood. It lacks action, if you will, but that certainly has changed in the last 24 hours. And in the last few hours, we've learned from family that the person who lives in that home has told them his friends froze to death.
It's kind of disturbing. It makes you wonder what's going on.
And this story took off.
Yet details were few and far between. But that added to the mystery.
Normal human beings who are at a football party and leave that party even in the dead of night while it's very cold outside just don't die under these circumstances.
You're in someone's backyard. You're not like in the mountains of Colorado or in Utah. This is a very, very bizarre story.
Kansas City PD says the case is not being investigated as a homicide. There have been no charges. They say Willis has been cooperative, and they wouldn't comment as to whether or not drugs or alcohol may be involved. But family and friends of the three deceased men are now pretty upset and have been taken to social media. They've been accusing the homeowner of knowing people were looking for the three men before they were found dead. It's a wild story, and we're going to have to wait to see what more comes out of it.
I'm Jennifer Marcus. I'm David Harrington's mother. It's going to be hard.
Oh.
Living in Arkansas, it took days for Jennifer to hear the news.
Most of the people that were involved in that didn't have my phone number. And finally, someone called my work. I almost didn't stop, and then they said, hey, it's about somebody named David. And I was like, give me the phone. And, I took it, and that's when that's when she told me that he was gone. And that I honestly, I don't remember everything she said because I kind of just lost it. To think that my son was in the backyard. And I always wonder, did he know what was happening? Did he know that he was going?
I don't know, do you?
That he couldn't tell anybody, he couldn't ask for help.
Yes, this is an interesting story. Yes, it's intriguing. Yes, there's mystery behind it. But at the end of the day, these are people's loved ones. These are brothers. Two of them were fathers. Like, these people meant something to the ones that loved them, and this was extraordinarily difficult for them.
By all accounts, it was difficult for Jordan Willis too. Though alive, he was not well. He had lost 3 friends. He was also under a cloud of suspicion, and the families of those who had died were demanding answers.
Why was Jordan the only one that didn't die? Why was he the only one that stayed in his house nice and warm? Why was he the only one that didn't see them outside?
I just was looking it up, and it says with it, like, you die within like minutes of exposure to it. So maybe they went out to smoke. They're like, oh, we're gonna go smoke real quick. But Jordan just within minutes went to bed and said bye. I don't know. It's so crazy to me. I'm gonna let my dog in. I can hear her out there.
Why didn't he answer his cell phone. When people are sending him messages, what's going on? Where are they?
Worse yet, did he kill his friends?
The mystery from that point on is just incredible, and I don't think people could believe what they were hearing.
Willis soon moved out of his rental home and checked himself into a rehabilitation facility, which only made the public more suspicious.
I always remember this quote, and it was the quote by a man named Jim McGeaney, who is Clayton's uncle. And Jim McGeaney told me, if 3 dogs were dead, someone would be in jail. But 3 grown men are found dead in their friend's backyard, and nobody's behind bars.
When you get to be older, you've had friends die, you've had parents die, and you've had relatives die. So that's not unusual. But to hear something like this, that tragic, it broke my heart.
It was on an unforgettable phone call from his son that Jim McGeaney learned the awful news that his nephew had died. Just a few years earlier, Jim lost his brother, Clayton's father. They all worked together in Jim's
Look at that
flooring
picture.
business.
It's so nice.
When Clayton was old enough, he started working with his dad and training him. And between the two of us, we trained him. And Clayton went out on his own and was making a fine living doing it. Got caught up as young kids do in things, but had himself turned around. Had a beautiful, beautiful girlfriend, April. Had a baby from a previous relationship. He had it all together. He was pulling it together after some years. Everything was working well for him. He had a good plan.
So did Ricky Johnson, who occasionally worked for Jim as well.
Ricky was a hard worker, and he would come to us when he was in between doing something or had a few days off, and if we needed help, he was there, and he would go hard at it. He was a good worker, good man, dependable.
I really do think there's foul play.
And can you explain why you think that, Norma?
Because I know my son, his other 2 friends, what I've read on that his families have said, they're all responsible men. They have families. They didn't go over there to die.
It sounds kind of ridiculous.
And I don't think that's the case. I think everybody people could be good people and, mess up. Right. I've told this story before because of this case. I had a friend that him and his girlfriend OD'd on the same concoction. They didn't know that it was laced. They didn't know that it had fentanyl in it. But it did, and it killed them both. And they were there for 2 days in their apartment before anybody found them. So I know it can take people out. I know it can take multiple people out quick. I think with me, it's more just that these guys were like just different sizes and different level, like probably levels of toxicity, like with, them drinking alcohol. And it's just, that's what gets me, I think. It's just, they all died in the backyard. It's like, how does that happen? I mean, I guess I'm reading like the different ways, the different side effects, and it does like it's slow breathing and like you get that shallow breathing, dizziness, disorientation, sedation. So, and it says occurs within minutes of exposure or ingestion, and it lowers the heart rate and depresses the respiratory system. So I'm trying to see if you feel it, like, because I feel bad for that mom.
For the police department and investigators to say there's no foul play here, 3 dead people in your backyard after watching a football game.
As the families mourned, a new twist came to light. Another person was at the house.
He said he left a little before, a little after midnight. And when he left, they were up watching a game show. Nothing was wrong. Nothing was going on. And we have a source close to this 5th person who was texting with the guys past 1 a.m., almost 2 o'clock in the morning. And then it's at that point where they go dark.
The Kansas City Police Department tells Fox News they are still awaiting results of the men's post-autopsy toxicology reports. Those results could reveal if the men died due to a drug overdose, possible hypothermia, or even something more nefarious.
Toxicology talks, as we say.
Yeah.
You know, right now we're worried, is it a murder or just a mystery?
Sure.
You know, we always say Lady Justice is blind. Investigators are not. They are looking for clues. They are listening. They are talking to witnesses.
She done had the Titanic diamond on her neck. Did you see that? I forget what it's called. The Hearted Diamonds or whatever. Look at that, but it's green.
We say,
Yeah.
you know, right now we're worried, is it a murder or just a mystery?
Sure.
You know, we always say Lady Justice is blind. Investigators are not. They are looking for clues. They are listening. They are talking to witnesses.
The theory that drugs played a role in this mystery took hold, and all the focus shifted to the friend who did not die that night, Jordan Willis.
She actually looked on Facebook after this had happened. People were commenting that had went to school with him about this idea that he was known as the chemist.
He was referred to as the chemist in high school, but he wasn't doing research then. I'll put it that way.
Oh yeah, did anyone tell me where he
personally
worked?
Didn't know him. Later, I heard things. You know,
I'm gonna look it up.
his friends called me. He was the one to go to. He always had money, so he could supply things that the rest of them couldn't afford.
While Clayton, David, and Ricky had always been close, it was relatively recent that Jordan reconnected with his high school buddies after moving back to Kansas City to care for his ailing father.
Police have been asked again and again if drugs were involved in this, and they just keep saying that it's part of the investigation. If you don't even know drugs were involved, how can you draw conclusions is what the entire country is thinking.
And that is exactly what we'd like to know.
I get an email and it's from one of my sources, and it's like, they have the reports, it is what you think it is. And I'm like, you can't just drop that in my email. You need to call me. This is breaking news.
These initial toxicology reports are very revealing. According to reports, they show that each of these men had traces of THC, cocaine, and 3 times the amount of fentanyl needed to kill somebody in their systems. Kansas City PD confirms they've talked to the victims' families, and they're still calling this a death investigation rather than a homicide investigation.
I think it's
Okay, so I looked it up and it's saying here he worked at the International AIDS Vaccine Initiative, and he worked as a senior principal scientist at its Neutralizing Antibody Center. But he worked remotely for the New York hospital, but its primary affiliation at the time of the incident was with the International AIDS Vaccine Initiative. So, okay.
what a lot of people
Very
expected.
smart.
I think it was the expectation. Nevertheless, it was shocking, and it sort of brought to the culmination of this story.
You figure the drugs are involved, and you just figure that's the case. 3 people don't get drunk and fall dead, but they do with drugs.
It's extremely devastating. The whole family's messed up. They died and then froze.
Oh,
They didn't freeze to death.
They made some mistakes, but they were people. They were our people, our kids.
Oh, gosh.
They didn't deserve this.
And no one does. I mean, my friend, his mom was the Spanish teacher at school, and his father was my my home tutor. Like, he would come and, like, do all my classes with me. So, I mean, and they look like good old country boys.
Substance abuse in Kansas City is not exactly breaking news. In fact, the city ranks 8th in heroin use in the country, according to American Addiction Centers. And when it comes to the deadly drug in this case, fentanyl-related deaths have increased every year in the U.S. since 2012. As little as 2 milligrams of the drug, comparable to a few grains of table salt, can potentially be a lethal dose. They now had the cause, but the families wanted justice.
Who in their right mind would think that there's no foul play in 3 dead bodies of 3 young men, strong men, not druggies sitting on the corner of the street with no home to live in and no families. These are 3 guys with families, jobs, who were looking forward to entertaining themselves watching a Chiefs game.
Did these men know what they were taking? Did they think that they were doing cocaine?
I think
and fentanyl
so.
was introduced into that substance? Okay, because if they were all doing drugs, why are 3 people dead and 1 person's alive? Let's stop for a second, okay? Why are 3 people dead and 1 person's alive? The police continue to send us email correspondence, news conferences, saying that they were not looking at this as a homicide, that this was just a death investigation.
One that dropped out of national headlines. While it remained top of mind for the loved ones of those lost, time, as it does, marched on. It seemed like case closed. Until it wasn't.
Now to a developing story. Officials charging 2 men in the deaths of 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans.
Authorities booking the so-called chemist along with another man on manslaughter charges. Prosecutors say the men died from a deadly mixture of fentanyl and cocaine after watching the final regular season game together. Their bodies were found 2 days later in Willis's backyard in freezing temperatures. In addition to Willis, Ivory Carson, who goes by the nickname Blade Brown, is also alleged to have supplied and sold cocaine to Willis and the victims.
We all
Blade
know
Brown?
Jordan Willis.
What? Why Blade Brown? When his name's Ivory Carson, why not Blade Carson? Blade Brown. Maybe it sounded better.
Says by now, and then Ivory Carson, who is, your run-of-the-mill drug dealer, it would seem, from the probable cause statement.
And after searching Willis's home, investigators found a bag of drugs with Willis's DNA on it. Another bag of fentanyl had traces of Carson's DNA. And a witness who was watching the game with the victims providing a probable cause statement claiming he saw a large plate of cocaine supplied by Willis for the rest of the group earlier that day. Both of these defendants face 3 counts each of involuntary manslaughter and 2 counts of delivering a controlled substance.
Eric Zahn, the prosecuting attorney there in Platte County, was very deliberate with his words, but was very stern and was very clear that these 2 men were responsible, in their opinions, responsible for the deaths of Clayton McGeeney,
Oh, no, I'm not anymore. Oh, I'm not anymore. Why is this going? Hold on. Why did I do this? I don't even know why I went into this. Oh my gosh. Am I okay? I was trying to look at the probable cause because I heard him saying the probable cause statement and I was like, wait a minute. I want to know if it changed. And that's what I was looking up. And then I put it on there didn't even show you guys this. So I'm going to go back a little bit. Okay. This never goes back like you wanted to. Okay, I don't know where we were, but I think we were like right here.
Have 3 people
Sorry about that.
Die all at once. And
Sorry about that. I don't know how long that was
up.
I guess I could look a while.
John Paserno is the defense attorney for Jordan Willis. He says he and his client were blindsided by the charges.
There's no way that Jordan would have wanted to harm his buddies. That came as a shock to all of us. I had been assured by the prosecutor's office several months before then that there was not going to be any type of charges forthcoming. And if they were, the charges would have been against the drug dealer, and that the main thing that Jordan would have been looking at would have been a charge of possession of cocaine. Jordan called me first and said, hey, the police are looking for
No
me.
distribution.
What the heck? What do you mean they're looking for you? Because I had an agreement with the prosecutor's office that if and when that day came, as I do in all my cases, if the prosecutor calls me, I will voluntarily surrender my client. Prosecutor did call me, did apologize for what was going on. I did surrender Jordan.
The public branded Willis as a character akin to a mad scientist. But his sister paints a very different picture of the so-called chemist. Though she chose not to speak on camera, she told us in an exclusive statement, in part, that her brother holds a PhD in chemical and physical biology from Vanderbilt University.
Wow.
Before this tragedy, Jordan was doing important work in HIV vaccine development. She also told us that before moving back to Kansas City in late 2019, Jordan lived a much healthier lifestyle out in San Diego. He moved back home to be closer to family and care for their father, who was sick with advanced Alzheimer's. And she says, when Jordan reconnected...
Whoa. Wait a second. Did he just say that he moved back to help his dad with severe Alzheimer's? Hold on.
And physical biology
Tell me what's
from
wrong with that?
Vanderbilt University. Before this tragedy, Jordan was doing important work in HIV vaccine development. She also told us that before moving back to Kansas City in late 2019, Jordan lived a much healthier lifestyle out in San Diego. He moved back home to be closer to family and care for their father, who was sick with advanced Alzheimer's.
Okay, if you have advanced Alzheimer's, would you leave your animals with somebody with advanced Alzheimer's? Never. I would never do that to my parent. Why would you do that? They would forget to take the dogs outside. They would forget to feed the dogs maybe. They can't help it. Those are things that could happen. Why would you leave your dogs there? He said they were there for a week. So it wasn't like they were just there for a day or 2 days. He said they were there for a week. So that's just weird to me. There's his dogs right there. Are you telling me? Look at that dog looking at the other dog so cute and lovingly. But like, I don't think that makes sense. I'm over here like a detective.
And she says, when Jordan reconnected with his old pals, they reintroduced him to habits and substances he once left behind.
Oh, shit. We're going to blame. Oh, no, we're not. No wonder why she didn't want to be on camera. I wouldn't either.
Nonetheless, he found himself in a heap of trouble.
I think there's a simple view in some of these overdose cases that because the victims may have willingly ingested drugs, they take sole responsibility. That's not true under the laws in the state of Missouri. The laws allow for causality to be attached to those that deal drugs in our community.
The state released this probable cause statement outlining its case. The victims, as well as defendant Jordan Willis, were known to use cocaine, and allegedly Willis would help out his friends with their habit when they were low on money. In this case, the state claims, he got the drugs from Ivory Carson.
Fentanyl doesn't appear out of thin air. It is manufactured and it's transported into our community here in Platte County and then sold to people. It is sold by people like Ivory Carson.
Many people who use controlled substances are often shocked by the presence of fentanyl in them. I have no reason to believe that Mr. Carson was not just as shocked that fentanyl was included in any of the controlled substances alleged to have been consumed or sold in this case.
I knew that my son dabbled in some things. David and I had talked about it once about how all these drugs and things are, going on, and we talked about fentanyl, and he said that's one thing I would never mess with. So it really shocked me to find out that it's in him and the other two guys.
I'm sure the family members have put pressure on the prosecutor's office. I'm certainly, not speaking negatively of them in that regard, but I'm certain that they put pressure on the prosecutor's office. I can say with certainty at this point that the three decedents consumed.
You can't put pressure on the prosecution's office if you're just these three. No, these three families did that. No, a prosecutor is not going to take a case that he can't win.
Controlled substances in the bag that contain fentanyl. But you don't know. They could have done fentanyl earlier in the day. They could have done fentanyl a couple of days ago. These are questions that we need answered.
My personal humble opinion. This is just my personal humble opinion. I don't think that they knew they were doing fentanyl. I really don't. I think they thought that they were getting cocaine. Whether, the bag had Ivory Carson plus other people's DNA. I don't know whose old DNA was on it, but they said multiple people, but it didn't say any of the victims or decedents or the people that are dead. Was Jordan going to, I don't know, was he kind of putting that in with the cocaine to make it last longer or something? Was that in his mind? All this will make it last longer. They're, big guys. I don't know. Or did he tell them hey, I've got this other bag of fentanyl, and they're like, oh yeah, let's do that. I don't know. I just don't see people that don't do drugs very often. I see them maybe okay, let's get some cocaine. Let's just, make this party fun, I guess, or whatever. But fentanyl is a whole other story. If you don't do it all the time, you're not going to be able to just do it and probably not have some severe reaction to it, unless you've been doing drugs for a long time. Then you might not.
Plenty of questions about Willis
But
need
it's
to be
so
answered
strong.
as well. How could it be that he wasn't aware his friends lay dead in his backyard for 2 days?
And he tried to act like I was asleep. I had headphones on. Not for days. He didn't just put the headphones on. You've been up, you've gone to the restroom, you've done this, you've done that. So I just don't believe that it's as innocent as it sounds.
His lawyer says the explanation is simple.
He fell asleep on the couch. And to the best of his knowledge, the three deceased people left his home at some point in time. It was very cold out. We had a significant snowstorm.
He said that he went upstairs to his room.
No
He was
real
doing
reason
work.
to look out into the backyard, and that's where they were.
You can't tell me that he didn't go downstairs in 2 days for anything and not see my son, who was a big boy in a bright red Chiefs jacket, sitting right in front of that big, huge window. I think there's a lot we don't know.
Oh, I want to see that
A significant
jacket.
snowstorm. He had no real reason to look out into the backyard, and that's where they were.
You can't tell me that he didn't go downstairs in 2 days for anything and not see my son, who was a big boy in a bright red Chiefs jacket, sitting right in front of that big, huge window. I think there's a lot we don't know.
We have a couple of cases that were on the docket this afternoon for preliminary hearing, each of them being somewhat coupled together.
The accused men were expected to appear in court together for the first time. The state was going to lay out its evidence in front of them and their attorneys. But then,
I've been informed that the defendant, Mr. Carson, cannot be produced today. Is that your understanding, Ms. Berta?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Carson is in the custody of Platte County. He's been housed out in the Henry County Jail. When I attempted to meet with him today in anticipation of this hearing around noon, I was informed that he was not transported here.
They forgot to bring the defendant.
Sorry. I love him. I don't know who he is. I think he does stuff for Daily Mail or something, but he's hilarious. So they forgot to bring the defendant to court.
Platte County. He's been housed out in the Henry County Jail. When I attempted to meet with him today in anticipation of this hearing around noon, I was informed that he was not transported here.
They forgot to bring the defendant from the jail.
Despite yet another bizarre moment in this bizarre case, a motion was filed to
Funny, but
trump
it's not
up
funny. It's funny, but it's not funny at the same time. You're right. Like, but it's like I'm finding it kind of funny because the defendant usually wants to get out of jail for a little bit. But like, why you forgot him? They probably just thought it was Jordan or something. Like, oh, he's coming in a little bit. He's on his way over.
charges against Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson, from involuntary manslaughter to second-degree murder.
The underlying felony they're charged with is distributing drugs. And then anytime someone dies during the course of a felony, there can be a felony murder charge in the state of Missouri. We have a very liberal policy towards that. We knew it was coming. We've been offered, both defendants have been offered the same plea agreement to the original charges.
What was that?
Both defendants turned it down.
What was it?
Intend to maintain their innocence and proceed to trial.
Must not have been a good plea deal. Probably was, actually.
Let's go ahead and have to start off. We're on the record. Today is July 24th. This is Division 3, and we have a preliminary hearing.
A year and a half after his friends were found frozen in his backyard, Willis sat alongside his co-defendant, Ivory Carson, in this small courtroom.
So at a preliminary hearing, it's just a hearing to determine probable cause of whether a crime was committed and probable cause of whether or not the defendant committed that offense. It's not guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. And so the burden on the state is just to put forth enough evidence to bind the defendant over to have a trial.
Although Willis didn't speak in court, it was the first time the public got a chance to hear from him. Prosecutors played audio from the night police questioned him at the scene.
And you don't know who's in your backyard?
No. I've just been sitting here since they left on the people that April called us in for had left on Monday.
You know what time Monday?
Like 4 a.m.
Okay.
Then I went to bed and I worked on a little stay. I didn't go outside at all.
I'm gonna let you know there's 3 back there.
There's 3. Why did they go out there? It's just doesn't make any sense.
Like, does that sound like somebody that's just lost 3 of their friends in the backyard? I would be screaming my head off. I mean, that would just be me. Even if I was like half asleep or whatever, drinking my wine like Jordan was in my boxers, I would be like, what? Like, you would hear me going, what the hell are you talking about? 3 of them. What do you mean? Who? What 3? Let's go back there. Can I go back there and look? What's going on? What's happening? I'd be doing circles.
The majority of the negative publicity that the general public had, especially toward Jordan at first, is how could somebody be home for a couple of days and not know that there are dead bodies out in the backyard?
How can you just not care?
When you look at that videotape from the patrol car, he's not making that up. I mean, he was genuinely surprised. You can hear it in his voice.
Why would they do that? Just go back in. Or like go back, like I went to bed on the couch and they must have just...
Who cares when you went to bed?
Just went back in. Am I going to get a copy of the report, like what happened?
Eventually, once we figure out what the heck happened, right now we have no answers for you. We was hoping you had more answers for us.
I know. I wish I did, but I was just here sitting all day. They were sitting here all day. I just feel so bad. Like it's... I know you wish I had time, but I don't. Like I was just sitting here all day. Like an idiot.
At that hearing, detectives testified that one witness claimed Willis was the only man who could afford to supply the amount of cocaine seen at the party that day. And remember that fifth man who was learned to have been at the house? He was revealed to be Alex Weimer Lee, David Harrington's roommate. What was his role, if any?
Sir, did Mr. Weimer Lee indicate anything regarding the use of cocaine or fentanyl and the defendant leading up to the men passing away?
He had stated that Mr. Willis and Mr. Harrington were on a cocaine bender for approximately 48 hours.
Weimer Lee, David Harrington, Clayton McGinney, Ricky Johnson, and Jordan were all using cocaine that was on a plate during the game, correct?
Correct.
And Weimer Lee stated when he came upstairs, the cocaine was already out, correct?
Correct.
So there's no indication he knew who provided the cocaine from what's in your report, correct?
Correct.
Then you also had another series or another text thread between David Harrington and is that right?
Yes.
And in that one, David Harrington was actually talking about having some cocaine shipped to him. Is that right?
That is correct.
I didn't know that he had that big of a problem. I wish I had. I would have tried to get him help.
I think it puts to rest this allegation that only Jordan supplied them with drugs whenever they did drugs. Furthermore, this business about them not being interested in fentanyl, you don't find that in the probable cause statement anywhere.
I just don't get that.
You know, lo and behold, we get our hands on the discovery and we find out that one of these three guys was actively seeking fentanyl.
All right.
I
please,
found that
Mr. Sarno.
on one occasion to an interview with Mr. Carson that Mr. McGinney had approached him in November of 2023 in regard to obtaining some fentanyl.
Mr. Carson's one of the freaking defendants over here. What if he's trying to help Jordan out? I don't like that.
And Mr. Carson had told him that he stayed away from it. He should stay away from it. He shouldn't use it.
Did they drink or smoke anything Sunday? What did they drink or smoke?
But wasn't his prints on the fentanyl bag? It was Carson.
So they were just drinking out of the storm and then smoking up the storm.
What was they smoking?
Oh, just weed. And it may have gotten something. It may have gotten fentanyl or something. I mean, I don't know.
There's some interest in this case, and there are folks here in the courtroom, so I'm going to rule on this preliminary hearing. And when I do, I'd ask that there be no, comments, remarks, sighs, and the like. Okay, everybody, just keep their composure. I know you can, but sometimes it doesn't hurt to be reminded. The court does find that there is probable cause to believe that a felony has been committed, and that each of the defendants have committed it.
I feel like if they let Ivory out, he's going to do the same thing. Somebody else might die or get very sick or something. And if we didn't have those people doing it, there wouldn't be as big a problem. If it was for money, I'm broke. I'm not dealing. I go to work. I work hard. And I don't go to these kind of things to make money and let other people get hurt on it. That's why I'm mad.
Ivory Carson's defense attorney sent us this statement. Mr. Carson is presumed innocent. He is pleading not guilty and looks forward to having his day in court. While a trial may have already begun in the court of public opinion, it is important to remember that we are very early on in the legal process, and not all the facts are known yet. Mr. Carson is a father, a brother, a son, and a friend. He has many people who love and support him. He is looking forward to a jury trial in this case, where we anticipate the facts will show that Mr. Carson was not responsible for the tragic deaths of David Harrington, Ricky Johnson, and Clayton McGinney.
Leave me alone.
In this case, on Jordan's behalf, we're just thrilled that there was no evidence that came forth that we feel indicates that he committed these offenses at all. And in fact, the lack of evidence indicates that he's not responsible for his friends' deaths.
If they get the consequences, maybe it will show people enough's enough.
We don't know what 12 strangers are going to say about certain evidence when they see it. And so, you know,
You guys gotta watch this for a minute. You see the cat and the dog? They're back here playing. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. He doesn't have phone calls. He's not doing nothing. All right, leave him alone. Sorry, guys. All right, let me get the cat out of here because he doesn't like the big dog.
if we had a crystal ball, then things would be different, but we don't.
Jordan's sister says her brother is devastated, telling us, "What has gotten lost in the coverage of this case is that Jordan has been carrying a heavy weight of his own. Over the past 18 months, he has lost his job, his privacy, many of his friends, and he has been facing the imminent loss of his father, all while working through addiction recovery, battling severe depression, and coping with survivor's guilt. This has been heartbreaking for everyone involved, but Jordan is also a human being who has suffered deeply because of this tragedy."
My son's birthday, we always called each other. He called me on mine, I called him on his, and we sang. And sometimes it would be the goofiest song, sometimes it'd be, operatic. That came and went without a call. Both of us. Christmas came and went. No call.
It's just a doggone shame that it had to happen to those three guys. Clayton especially, because he was close to me. But it's just a shame.
One of the big things we hate is that they're known as the Chiefs fans. They were David, Clayton, and Ricky.
No.
They were fathers. They were brothers. They were friends. People that had lives and then were loved. And will always be loved and missed.
It says Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson are presumed innocent until proven guilty. They are awaiting their trial date. Oh, you couldn't tell us? I guess they just don't know yet. We'll see if this says anything else. Willis and Carson each face 2 civil lawsuits as well, filed by the families of David Harrington and Clayton McGinney. Willis and Carson maintain their innocence. Oh, no. Alex Weimer Lee is not accused of any wrongdoing. His lawyer did not respond to our request for comment. That was the other guy that was there that night. I think he left around like midnight. The Platte County Prosecutor's Office responded to our request for comment saying, since this is a pending criminal case, the ethical rules that prosecutors are obligated to follow in pending criminal cases prevent our office from commenting on anything that is outside the public record. Well, I'll be calling tomorrow and asking you when. Can I get a date? A court date? Because it's not on the docket. I think that's it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I saw that was on Fox Nation tonight, and or it came on. I don't know when it was on, like when they put it on there. I don't think it was very long ago. Did you see the cat and the dog? I'm so sorry. I was laughing so hard. I did not mean to be so unprofessional, but that was just so funny to me. Those two can play together. I have no problem with that. The gray dog, she is not as cool, like with the cat. Like the cat, she knows, Yeah, Willis bought it from Carson. Yeah. What is that? Oh, that's my fan. That was like so loud. Did you hear that thing going? It's like vibrating. But yeah, welcome in everybody that just came in. So if you missed it, you have to, go back and rewind because that was a good one. And Kathy said she's finally leaving. But if you haven't left yet, good night. And let me know if you guys have any questions for me. If you guys don't mind, hit the like button, all the things. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We do talk true crime here nightly. This week I will be, I think, taking some time off. So you'll be getting some pre-recordeds, but let me tell you what, they're going to be good. Just give me time to get some stuff rolling in here. Some of this, some of that, some of this, some of that. I've got some, I think we are going to get some stuff to make like a portable, like station for me to, talk to you, like, or to like do my videos and stuff, like a portable little setup. Because since in here during the day, it's hard for me to get in here, and I like to do stuff during the day, too. So yeah, I know, Ashley. But I will keep you. I will do. If I do like pre-recorded, I'll make sure that I do some premieres. Like there'll be premieres, so like it'll be like I'm here, but it'll be different, And then that way you guys can chit chat in the chat and everything. Yeah, keep writing up. I know. When she was saying that, it made me think of my mom calls me every year on my birthday. She called me, well, she called me every year on my birthday, but she would call me on the 16th instead of 17th because after like I got older, she must have just like, my brother was born on the 16th of March. I was born on the 17th of October. I think she just switched our days, and just as she got older, she was like, whatever. So she would always tell me happy birthday on the 16th. Or call me. So the last time she did it was my 30th birthday. Or no, it was my 29th birthday. And I hung up on her. And like I was like, wrong day. And I hung up, and then she called me back. It was really sweet. But then on my 30th birthday, I didn't get the phone in time, and she left me a voicemail. And I kept that, and I love that voicemail. I love it. It's my favorite. It's my favorite voicemail ever. I had one from Vincent too. He's like, you have a voicemail from me? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I do. Oh, I wish I could show you this. Wonder if I can really quick. Let me see if I can get it to come up. It's like a picture of a picture. It's a picture. I took like a screenshot of my own like Snapchat. So when Vincent and I first like started dating, we had a dog that unfortunately she passed a year and a half after we got her. But this picture came up from 9 years ago. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's her. Her name was Ella. And she has her little tongue out. I was like, look, I make it bigger. So that's why we have a Weimaraner. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you? Yep, there you go. Isn't that the cutest little dog ever? Who had Joe Scott Morgan on their panel? I know she was the cutest. She was the best dog ever. No offense to my other dogs. They're gone now. They're out there with the cat. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. I showed that to Vincent. I was like, look at your phone. Look at your phone. He was like, why? I'm like, this is so important. This is a good one. I didn't even know I had that picture. And then it's so cute because we have a picture of, I'm going to have to put the pictures together, but we have a picture of Mia in her doggy bed right there when we were bringing her home. Same car. Believe it was same. Yeah, same car. Oh, the interview room. Wow. Joe Scott Morgan, come on my show. I gotta go to CrimeCon. I need to go there and rub elbows and talk to all the people. You know what I mean? I'm a good person. I'm a nice person. I think they'll let me back there. Especially if I take my Nancy Grace cardboard cutout with me, full size, and just walk around with her. I mean, who is going to say no to that? Maybe I can trick Joseph Scott Morgan to thinking that's Nancy, and he'll come over to me, I'll dress her up a little better. But thank you guys all for being here. I'm going to keep my eye out on this case, and I'm going to figure out when the next court hearing is, because that would be nice to know. That would be really nice to know. And thank you guys all for being here tonight. I would die if I got him. I have so many questions for him. Like over this David case, even that case, any case, Doesn't matter. I would have so many questions. Idaho, I got questions. Please come on my show, Joe Scott Morgan. Because, all the ladies love you over here. And we have, and I made a Joe Scott Morgan emoji. And I've only made 2 emojis my whole time being on this platform. Vincent's the emoji guy. He makes them. I don't. But Vincent was like, have you been making emojis? I was like, yeah, me too. Yeah. Yes or no, Joe? Yeah. I'll be like, just come on my show. I'll be like, I just spent $1,400 on the VIP. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be making a scene. Actually, I just sent in Vincent. Vincent's a pretty chill guy. I think he could get him to come on. Hey, cupcakes. How do you like your eggs? Yeah, well, that's a serious question. Yeah, we'll ask him. We'll get him on the show one of these days. Could you imagine? I mean, we all start somewhere. But thank you guys all for being here tonight. I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to go see what the dogs are doing, make sure my cat's okay. Araya was like biting the air. I'm like, what are you doing? She was like, so I have a cat bed over here. And that's what she went over to. I'm like, why are you messing with him? Right? Like, he ain't doing nothing to you. And she just wanted to play. She was in a playful mood. And I think it's cute because they play well together. So, oh, you're welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you for being here. He could park his boots under my bed anytime. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Well, thank you guys all for being here. I'll see you guys probably sometime tomorrow. You'll see me either in a live or in a video. You'll see me though. I promise. But I'll be back tomorrow. I will see you guys all then. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful Monday tomorrow. And have a good night. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out, can't make a stop.